If you're shooting outdoors and you forgot to use or you don't have a neutral density gradient filter, you are going to love this new tool inside of Camera Raw, because not only does it let you darken the sky and then transition down to transparency for your foreground, it lets you do so much more. Adobe did a very, very, very clever job of implementing this non-destructive way to add a neutral density gradient and more to your photos. Check this out.
Well, if you're an outdoor photographer, you've probably seen this problem in photos like this a million times, where you've run into a reality of how camera exposure is done, in that it's either going to expose for the sky or it's going to expose for the ground. And even though the human eye balances for both, your camera is going to choose one or the other. It's either going to make the sky look good or the foreground look good. Well, that's why neutral density gradient filters were created, and we usually add them, at the capture process. But if you realize after the fact that you needed to have one and you didn't use one, now you'll get to use this tool right up here. It's actually called the Graduated Filter Tool, and it will be helpful if you watch my video here on the Learning Center about the adjustment brush first, because it'll make a little bit more sense. But I'll show you how this works in the meantime. Go ahead and start off by lowering the exposure, because generally you want to start off by darkening the sky. You just click the tool and drag downward. Now hold the shift key if you want to have it go straight. And as you drag downward, it darkens the sky, but it transitions down to transparent. So I usually will put this around the horizon line there. And then you can darken the sky as much as you want right here. Just kind of darken it in to where the sky looks more balanced with the foreground. Now, of course, you can also control the brightness of the sky here. And you can even go down to color. If you wanted to add a little more blue to the sky, you could click on the tint and then just add some more blue. So you can see you're controlling that whole area up there by just doing this one little change. If you want to see before and after, here let's first hide the overlay, and then we'll turn on off the preview. You can see what a difference this makes. We can actually just use the letter P. You can see what a difference that makes, and how the overall image looks. It's pretty, well, you can see. I don't even have to tell you what it is. But what I like about it is Adobe didn't just say, all right, well, you want a neutral density gradient filter fix right within Camera Raw, so here's how to darken the sky. They gave us all this, the ability to add contrast to just those areas or take away contrast, ability to take away sharpness from the clouds if you don't want them to be too sharp, or add clarity to add some mid-tone contrast. They gave you all these other things, including the ability to saturate the colors more too. So just a very, very slick implementation of this, and of course it's all non-destructive.
So you can see this new tool really makes it a lot easier, a lot more efficient, and gives you more power than we were hoping to get. The gradient tool is very, very cool in Camera Raw.